Are you starting to consider planning some travel for 2021 and beyond, but you're still a little confused as to where you can travel and where you can't, given what passport you hold? It's really confusing. Let's dive into it with some tools that can help. Coming up. Where are we going next? Let's go. I know if you're like me, you are just dying to get on the road or in a plane and start exploring the world again. And now that we have this vaccine that hopefully is going to change things going forward and make the world a little safer to travel, there's a lot of us that are starting to tinker around on the internet and dreaming of our next destination. But with information changing day by day, with numbers going up, with numbers going down, with regulations opening, with things closing down, it's really hard to keep track of where we can go and where we can't go. And it seems like every time you turn on the TV, they've changed the information again. So I wanted to give you some really great resources that you can use that will help you determine where you can go and where you can't go, and have a better experience when you're trying to choose a destination in the short term and through the rest of 2021. Welcome back to the Traveling Cheesehead. My name is Michelle, and if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. We cover everything travel related, travel planning tips, destination vlogs, reviews, and recommendations to destinations around the world. And today we're talking about planning our future travel and navigating that minefield that is COVID regulations. So I've come across recently a few different resources that seem to update quite regularly and have very accurate information about the regulations in different countries, as well as in some cases different states. It is hard to know what you can and can't do, whether you can or can't go somewhere, because they change stuff all the time. So I'm going to kind of lay down the top 5 resources that I came across that have pretty good information. And stick around to the end because I have a bonus 6th one that I found to be the best. And I found this just yesterday. So let's start with our tried and true, the things that we've used to research flights, cars, hotels in the past. The first one is Kayak. Kayak does have an interactive map and resource guide on it that kind of lays out what the different regulations are in different areas of the world. Now, I found it to be fairly accurate. It gets updated, it seems, about once a week. But as we know, stuff changes day to day sometimes. So it's always important with any of these resources I'm going to cover to go to the country website or to the state website to double check that it's 100% accurate. But this is a great place to start, just so you can kind of eliminate some of the possibilities. Or if you have a destination in mind, you can quick check and see, is it really possible? And if it's a red, that means no. So Kayak, you can go in and put where you're going and what the COVID regulations are currently, and whether or not you can actually travel there, what the, if you need a COVID test, if you need to have insurance, whatever that destination's requirements are. The second one is Skyscanner. Skyscanner, similar to Kayak, also has an interactive map where you can type in your destination, even down to the city, and it will tell you the different regulations that are in place due to COVID, whether or not, given your current passport, whether or not you can travel there. It'll tell you what countries can access that destination and which ones cannot. It'll also tell you what you need to do if there's a mandatory quarantine, if there's a COVID test, and likewise. So that again does update about every week to 10 days. So again, it's important to cross-reference and make sure that you go to the country or state website to confirm those details, because those tend to be the most up-to-date, is on the country-specific website or on the state-specific website. The next one is called Sherpa. It is again a free resource. This again looks like it updates about every week or so, and it does look pretty user-friendly, pretty accurate. I compared it with both the Skyscanner and Kayak setup because I'm more familiar with them, and it seems to operate fairly the same way. So again, Sherpa.com, that is another great resource for you. If you're getting value so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe because I have new videos coming out every single week and you don't want to miss a thing. All right, continuing on. All right, the next one is called TripsGuard. Now this TripsGuard also allows you to purchase travel insurance through them as well, but it also lays out the different regulations that are currently in place in the different countries. This again updates about once a week, so it's not awful, but again, it might be a little lag behind depending on when you're checking your information. But what's nice is it also will recommend an insurance package for you if you're going to a destination that requires that COVID travel insurance that some countries are requiring as a part of the ability to go there. So that is a nice added benefit. It's a one-stop shop. You can check the country availability and if they're allowing you in, and then you can also match it with the insurance that might be required there. The next one is a paid app, and I think in the future this might be something that will be a good resource if it works well. It's a new app from Dragonslayer, and it is $9.99 per month with a 2-week free trial, or you can have it for a full year at $69.99. So it's not cheap, you know, 10 bucks a month or $70 for the year, but it's also not super expensive. They have said that they will be updating daily and continuously. It's almost like a live feed. So as soon as something changes, it's updated right away. And they have all the countries. You put your, you know, where you're traveling from and what passport you hold, and then it'll tell you whether or not you can travel there or not, and it's updated as close to real time as possible. So paying for it might make that worth it because it is in real time. But again, I'm just going to caution you with any of these third-party apps, going to the actual country website once you've determined where you want to go is going to be vital to just make sure nothing's changed. They're pretty accurate, but again, even they say on their app and in their websites that you should always go to the country website to confirm what the current status is. So I went through my top 5, but I do have a bonus one for you. My bonus one is one that I just found accidentally. I don't even know where I found it because then I had to go back and find it again. I feel like it was on my Facebook feed and I looked at it and then I didn't make a note of what it was called. You've done that before. And so I searched and searched and I found it again. So this app is really cool. I thought it was probably the most user-friendly of all the resources that I just went through, and it does update daily. It's not to the minute like the last one I talked about, but it does update every 24 hours. So it's fairly accurate, and it's a free app, and you are able to put in the passport you hold, similar to the last one I spoke about, and then it will tell you all the countries that are off limits. It'll tell you the ones that have restrictions, and it'll tell you the ones that are open. The ones with restrictions, you can click on them and it'll break down what that country's restrictions are in order for you to enter. And that one, I love the name of it too, because it's canitravel.net. I found it and I was like, this is cool. For me personally, where I don't always have a destination in mind when I start searching, I kind of have like, you know, a bunch of destinations that I'm considering based on the time of year I'm going or what type of vacation I'm thinking about taking. And then I start researching those destinations based on costs and things like that. So for me, having an app like this where I can put in, you know, that I have a US passport, and then it's going to automatically tell me where I can go, where I can't go, and where I can go with restrictions and what those restrictions entail. That's really cool because I can eliminate, if any of the ones that I was thinking of come on that do not travel list, well, I'm not going there. But if I have, one or two that make it to the open for business tab, then I'm going to concentrate on those. So it can be very helpful, and obviously updating to every 24 hours. Going forward, it's going to be really great because you're going to be able to stay on top of what the different country regulations are, and you're not going to have to sit there and type in every single website of every single country that you're considering. So those were my 6 travel resource apps and websites to help you navigate the new normal of travel in 2021 and beyond. I hope you found this helpful today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again here on the Traveling Cheesehead. And until next time, travel safe. Where are we going next? Let's go.